A simplified version of a civilization game has always struck me as an oxymoron. Taking Firaxis' famously addictive turn-based strategy series about guiding a nation from cave dwellers to spacefarers, and trying to make that work as a quick and easy iPad game has met with mixed results. Civilization Revolution 2 certainly does have trace amounts of that just one more turn momentum and tension, and it has the trademark hilariously warlike Gandhi, but it's a pale shadow of the greatness of the full Civilization games. Picking one of these 18 nicely varied leaders and jumping onto a randomized map works well with the iPad's touch controls. If you're new to the Civ Rev games, it might take you a few games to learn crucial aspects of combat and trade that the tutorial and sparse Civilopedia don't bother to tell you. I actually ended up winning my first couple of 3 to 4 hour games on King and Emperor difficulty without really understanding why. At least the several different victory conditions, like going for culture instead of conquest, made starting again feel worthwhile. Once you've got the hang of things, it does become pretty easy to control an expanding army and empire of cities. You don't have to worry about things like improving terrain, because most of the improvements to your city's resources come from automatic upgrades from technology. That simplification works pretty well, but some of the other steps taken to minimize micromanagement end up creating some pretty dull busy work. For example, in order to be effective in combat, you have to combine 3 identical units into one super army unit. That's fine, but after the first few battles I started to wonder why these completely ineffective single units exist at all. There isn't even the possibility of mixing and matching unit types into a squad to complement each other's weaknesses. So what is the point? Even more annoying, you can't pay gold to upgrade outdated units. Like when warriors are replaced in the build menu by legions. You can't build 2 more warriors to make an army, and you can't disband them for gold either. They're just fodder. That forces you to constantly build entirely new units that just sit on top of the old ones in every city, and that creates more hassle when it comes to finding the unit you want. It probably doesn't help the late game frame rate chugging either. I also ran into significant AI problems. On every difficulty, except the ridiculously unfair deity level, other countries were mostly passive. Especially when separated by any water at all, they mostly left my expansion unchecked. Considering there's no multiplayer in Civ Rev 2, that's a bummer. Oh, and without a minimap, or even the ability to zoom out far enough to see the entire world, it's hard to be aware of the global situation. I kept getting declarations of war from civilizations without really knowing where they are relative to me, and if I should care. As a Civilization fan with thousands of hours played in the series, it's difficult for me to get into the simplified design of Civilization Revolution 2. That doesn't make it a bad game. It offers good control and variety, and can easily keep the momentum going for several hours of grand strategy. But with some unnecessary busywork and a passive AI, it lacks the depth and interesting challenges that give its big siblings their staying power. For more on Sid Meier's Civilization, stay on IGN.